Namaste yogis. Welcome to your practice. I'm so happy to connect with you all through this channel. Before we start our practice, I like to touch on few things which may be needed for the practice. Essentially two blocks. If you do not have a block, you can take some heavy books, 2 books. So that is a good alternative. Most of them come to the class may have a block. And then a nice blanket. You can place it underneath your knees. So for it to be comfortable, or some knee pads. If you do not have a blanket like that, even a beach towel can be a good substitute. So once you have everything closer to you, come back into a seated meditation. So I'm sitting on top of a block. I highly recommend that you can line up 2 blocks maybe and then just sit on top of the block. Cross-legged. If that is too much for you, straight leg. Or you can keep one knee bent. Any shape where you are comfortable, where the spine is effortlessly tall. And then once you have established that shape, place your hands wherever your shoulder and neck feels easy. And then eyes may fall closed. Starting with a seated meditation. Just by closing your eyes, can turn the attention from the outside to the inside. Gently gather yourself, center yourself. Completely arrive to your mat. Now start to watch your breath. As much as possible, try to slow down your breath. Slowing down your breath. Slowing down your thoughts. Allow the breath to center you down, calm you down, cool you down, and allow the body and mind to be ready for this beautiful practice. Now eyes may open. Let the light in. Welcome to your practice, yogis. Now from a seated meditation, let's change our shape. child's pose. If you used a block, take the block away, put it aside, and then allowing the big toes to touch each other, knees a little wide apart. Dropping your sitting bones down, reaching your arms forward, and allow the head to rest somewhere, preferably on top of a block or to the mat. Let the head rest somewhere. Child's pose. The only thing which has changed is the shape. Instead of in a seated meditation, instead of the spine being effortlessly tall, the spine is right now in a forward fold, surrendering. The spine is just surrendering to Mother Earth. Allow the shoulders to relax. Soften your whole body, especially those places which are hurting right now. Maybe it's your lower back, maybe it's your shoulders. If there is any place in your body that needs a little more attention from you, send your breath there. Soften. Practice to soften. And start to watch your breath, listen to your breath. Again, let the breath settle you down, anchor you down, and get you ready for this beautiful practice. Softening your whole body, dropping your weight down. Feeling the solid support of Mother Earth underneath you, child's pose. Now from there, slowly rise up. Take the block and place it to the front of the mat, front of your mat. You can even use a blanket right now and place it underneath your knees. Carefully set up for a tabletop position. Hands and knees. Blocks in front of you. Shoulders and hands in one line. Hips and knees in one line. Coming into a tabletop position. Carefully setting up your foundation. Now please take an in-breath here. Exhale, step that right leg in between your hands and take a block and place it on either side of that right foot. Coming into a supported lunge. Once you have the stability, you can take both hands on top of the front thigh. The tendency is there to wobble. If that is the case, heel toe that right foot, take the right foot to the right. If you are still wobbly, you can even go back, place your hands to the block. But if you have the balance, then start to reach both hands up, coming to a low lunge. your outer ribs in, lifting up tall through the spine, relaxing your shoulders, and then hands to the block. Come back into all fours and then back into child's pose. Before we move to the other side, come back to child's pose. Head can rest somewhere, to the block or to the mat. Remember, this child's pose is primarily a resting pose. So you can come back to this shape anytime during the practice. The spine is draping on top of your thighs. Relaxing your shoulders, neck, facial muscles, lower back, knees, ankles. Now from there, come back into all fours. Now let's do the other side. This time stepping the left leg forward. Hands to the block on either side of that left foot. Feel free to stay right there or take both hands on top of the front thigh. Then if you have more space, then start to reach your arms up. Take it in steps. There is no hurry. Take it in steps. Reaching your arms up, stretching the spine tall. And then hands to the block. Come back into all fours. And then back into child's pose. Few more times like that. Come into all fours. Inhale. Exhale, stepping the right leg forward. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, hands down, child's pose. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, this time step the left leg forward. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, hands down, back into child's pose. Few more times like that. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, right leg forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, back into child's pose. Few more times, go with your own pace. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, left leg forward. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, hands down, back into all fours. Back into child's pose. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, right leg forward. Inhale, come up, low lunge. And then exhale, hands down, back into child's pose. Last time for me on the other side. Again, go with your own pace, yogis. Left leg forward. Inhale, 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 come up. And then exhale, hands down, back into child's pose. So once you are done, once you think your body is warmed up, sit back, settle back, child's pose. Few breaths there. Observe your breath. The breath should be naturally slowing down now. And also there is some heat. Witness the heat in your body. And there may be some space which you thought never existed. Maybe there is some space blossomed within you. A space between you and whatever is happening around you. If you wish to stay in child's pose for a few more breaths, feel free to do that. But if you are ready, make your way into downward facing dog. Put the block aside. Take the blanket aside. And then move into downward facing dog. But for some reason, if down dog is too much for you, go back to child's pose. If you happen to be in down dog, you can take your feet a little wider. That wider leg may give you more balance. Pressing into your hands, lengthening up through the torso, sitting bones up, sending the thigh bones back, heel bones reaching down. You can start to bicycle your legs. That's a wonderful way to wake up the legs, ease into the shape. Wherever you are, whatever shape you have chosen, breathe. Breathe into that shape. Now from there, start to walk your hands towards the back of the mat. Bend both knees, come into a chair pose. Taking your feet a little wider or taking the feet closer. Both feet parallel to each other. Start by placing your hands on top of your thighs. Dropping your sitting bones down, chest up. And then inhale, reaching your arms up. Chair pose. Now strong legs, stand tall. Inhale, exhale, hands to upright. Beautiful. Now take the time, find your feet, stand on top of your feet, spreading the toes, arms by your side, breathe in between your toes, shoulders up and back, coming into this standing position, Tadasana. Now let's get into that side body. So reach your arms up. Start to clasp your fingers, palms facing away from you. Now take an in-breath here. Exhale to your right. And then come back to center. And then exhale to your left. Few more times like that. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lean to your side. Move with your breath. More and more space opening up in the side body. Space in between your ribs. Space stretching those breathing muscles side to side. And then release the bind. Awesome. Now from there, let's set up for the flow. So make sure the 2 blocks are in the front of your mat, so we may need it. And then place the knee pads midway in your mat so that when you are coming to the lunge, you have something for your knees. So let's start with a chair pose. Beloved chair pose. So feet on the earth. Inhale as you reach your arms up. Exhale, sit back in chair. Few breaths there. Dropping your sitting bones down. Chest up. Sitting bone down. Chest up. Now take an in-breath here. Exhale, hands to the block. Stepping that right leg back, runner's lunge. Hands to the block on either side of that front foot. Inch that front foot forward so that the front knee is on top of ankle. Hands to the block on either side of that front foot. Look forward, runner's lunge. And then bring the back knee down to the mat. Place something underneath that and place a cushion underneath that knee as needed. Feel free to stay right here. If you have the balance, then take both hands on top of that front thigh. And if you need a little more, then start to reach your arms up, coming to a low lunge one more time. Feel free to stay right there, or if you want a little more for your shoulders, you can take your hands to the hip, elbows in. Hands to the hip, elbows in. But if it is messing up with your balance, you can always take the hands to the block. That is a great option. Hands to the hip, elbows in. If you have more space in your shoulders, you can even clasp your fingers behind your back, opening up your chest. Then releasing the bind, hands to the block. Now start to straighten that front leg as you fold over that front thigh. You can stay right there, or you can move forward and backward with your breath. Inhale, bending that front knee, and then exhale, straighten and fold. Few more times like that. Inhale and then exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And the next time when you bending that front knee, come back into all fours. Two options. You can go back to child's pose to rest. If you want a little more, staying down dog. Yogi's choice. Now wherever you are, come back into all fours. This time stepping that right leg forward, hands to the block on either side of that right foot. Now take both hands on top of the front thigh. And then right hand to the right hip, left hand on top of the right knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, twist to your right. Twist to your right. Lengthening tall through the spine and breathing into the twist. And then come back to center. Release, release, release. Now hands to the block. Now straighten the back leg. Inhale, look forward. Come into a runner's lunge. And then exhale, step forward. Now bend both knees, come into a chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, sit way back in chair. And then inhale, stand tall. Exhale, hands to upright. Now we completed one side. Let's do the other side. Starting with the chair pose. So please walk to the top of the mat if you are not there already. Make sure that you have 2 blocks in front of you. Let's start with the chair pose. Inhale as you reach your arms up. Exhale, sit back in chair. If it is bothering your lower back, you can place your hands on top of your thighs. That is a wonderful option. And then take an in-breath here. Exhale, hands to the block. This time stepping that left leg back. Left leg back. Runner's lunge. Few more breaths here. Walk the front foot a little forward. Hands to the block on either side of that front foot. Crown of the head reaches forward. Make sure the front knee is on top of ankle. And most important, breathe. And then bring the back knee down to the mat or to the blanket. And then from there, reach your arms up. Low lunge. If this is very wobbly for you, you can take that front foot to the front edge of the mat. Broader base, more stability. Or you can even place your hands to the block. Settle down there for a few breaths. And once you have the stability, then you can start to reach your arms up. Take it in steps. There is no hurry. Slow down the breath. You can stay right there, or you can even start to clasp your fingers behind your back if that feels good, or hands to the hip, elbows in. These are all wonderful options. Opening the front of your chest, noticing a nice bright feeling in the front of your chest. And then slowly release. Now hands to the block. Start to straighten that front leg. Gently waking up your hamstring. So bend, inhale, and then exhale, straighten and fold. Few more times like that. Inhale, exhale. Few more times, forward and backward. If you want to stay still, you can stay still with your legs straight. If you think a little bit of movement can help you, feel free to do that. Sliding forward and backward with your breath. Taking the support of your breath. And the next time when you bending that front knee, come back into all fours. Again, to rest, come into child's pose. If you want, you can be in down dog. I prefer child's pose, so I'll be in child's pose. come back into all fours. This time stepping that left leg forward. Lunge, blocks on either side of that left foot. And then take both hands on top of the front thigh. Again, if you are wobbly, take that left leg to the left edge of the mat. Now take the left hand to the left hip. Right hand on top of that left knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, turn towards the left. Turn towards the left. Spine should be tall and you should be breathing. And then come back to center. Hands to the block on either side of that front foot. Now straighten the back leg. Coming into a runner's lunge. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Now bend both knees. Come into a chair pose. Inhale. And then exhale, sit way back in chair. And then inhale, stand tall. Exhale, hands to a prayer. So we completed both sides. Now let's set up for the standing postures. So take the block away. Knee pads away, mats. My mat is all over the place, so let me straighten up the mat here. Blanket away, and let's come into setup for standing postures. So starting with the tree pose, hands to the hip. Left leg is the standing leg. Take the right heel against the left ankle. Right heel against the left ankle. And then once you have the stability, hands to a prayer. Focus on a point which is not moving, something on the floor. You can even go closer to the wall if you need more support. Feel free to do that. It's your practice. Once you have established the shape, then let's move with our breath. Inhale as you reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to a prayer. 2 more times on your own. Find your pace. Inhale. Exhale, ground down. Soften. Inhale, expand. Exhale, drop down a little deeper. And then release, release, release. Now let's do the other side. This time right leg is the standing leg, left heel against the right ankle. Few breaths here. Focusing on a point as the gaze settles down. The mind also kinds of calms down. That can help you with the balance. Once you have the balance, hands to a prayer. Feel free to add on, moving the breath, taking the movement and the breath together. Inhale as you reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to a prayer. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, hands to a prayer. Inhale, last time. Exhale, soften your whole body. And release, 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 release. Now the next set of standing pose, warrior 2, right side warrior 2. Take a wide stance, wider, most of us have the space. Now turn the right toes out, heel to arch alignment, and then bending the front thigh, hands to a T, warrior 2. Gazes towards the right fingertips. Dropping down a little deeper in that front thigh, firming up the back leg. A few satisfying breaths in this classic powerful shape. And then straighten that front leg. Walk the back foot a little closer. Now reach the right hand like you want to touch something very far. And then right hand, wherever it lands on your right leg, don't have to go any further down. Both shoulders back, left hand up. If it is bothering your shoulder and neck, left hand can stay down or up. Triangle, Trikonasana. Once you have established the shape, a few satisfying deep breaths. And then bend in that front knee and then come all the way up. Now hands to the hip, both feet parallel to each other. Let's go to the other side. Turn the left toes out. Heel to arch alignment. Front heel in line with the back arch. Take your feet a little wider for warrior two. And then hands to a T. Put a bend in that front thigh, warrior two. Dropping down a little deeper, lengthening through the spine, reaching long through the back leg, long through the back hand. Few more breaths here, blossoming in this shape. And then straighten the front leg. Take the back foot a little closer. And then reach the left hand like you want to touch something far away. And then left hand wherever it lands on the left leg. Both shoulders back. Right hand reaches up. And then slowly come up. Bending that front knee and come up. And then both feet parallel to each other. Hands to the hip. Heel to your feet together. Hands to a prayer. So we completed both sides. Take a moment. Find the balance. Balance between the right and the left. Balance between the front body and back body. Comfort and discomfort. Likes and dislikes. Balancing all the opposites within you. And then release. Awesome. Now from there, come back into all fours. And then from there, slide that right leg back. Place something underneath that knees as needed. Sliding that right leg back. Now from there, make sure your belly is in and then lift that left hand forward. And whatever amount is there, keep lifting that right leg off of the mat. Keep the belly in, keep the center intact, spinal balance. Embrace that wobbles. Feel the center. And then come back into all fours. Let's go right to the other side, yogis. This time slide that right leg back, shoulders on top of wrists. So you are like in an aft plank. Now belly in, chest in, and then right leg up. Right hand forward, And then lift that left leg. But keep connected to the center. Breathe. And then come back into all fours. And then child's pose, a brief child's pose. It is a hard pose, so let's take a child's pose. And then slowly come up. Now back into all fours. Now from there, slide your knees slightly back. And knees a few inches back. And then from there, both feet off of the mat. Lead with your chest. Lean your chest forward. Elbows in, elbows hugging in as you lower all the way down to the mat. That's it. Now tops of the feet on the mat. Adjust your palms closer to your chest. Let's do a few rounds of cobra here. So tops of the feet on the mat, palms closer to your chest. Forehead to the center. Keep pressing down into the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift your heart up. And then exhale, release. Few more times like that. Inhale, lift up, exhale, release. Few more times like that, dancing with your breath, bringing the breath and the moment together. Keep pressing down into the tops of the feet. Be light in your hands. And the next time when you exhale, release, release, release. Now take your hands by your side, palms facing down, forehead to the center. Let's do locust in stages. Allow the legs to rest, both legs on the mat. Only your upper body lifts up. Inhale, head up, heart up, hands up, and then exhale, release. Few more times like that. Inhale, and then exhale, release. Just moving your upper body with your breath. Conscious breath. Conscious movement. So the entire process is like a moving meditation. And then slowly release. Now make a pillow with your forearms and rest your forehead on top of your pillow. Now lift only your legs, straight legs preferably. Even if it is a few inches off of the mat, that's okay. Inhale, lift both legs up, and then exhale, release. Inhale, lift up, exhale, drop it down. Slow and steady, slow down the breath, slow down the movement, extending the breath, extending the movement. And then slowly, slowly release, release, release. Now take your hands by your side. The full version of locust. Inhale, lift your head up, heart up, hands up, legs up, and then exhale, release. Surrender. Inhale, expand, exhale, release, soften. slowly release, release, release. Now take your right cheek to the mat. Wiggle your hips a little side to side. Take your left cheek to the mat. You can even windshield wiper your legs. And then forehead to the center. Shift back into child's pose or downward facing dog. And then slowly rise up. Come into a seated position. Now extending both legs to the front of the mat. Setting up for a seated twist. Now hug the right knee closer to your chest. Plant the right foot outside to the left thigh. Take your right hand behind you. Left hand reaches up as you inhale and then hug the knee to your chest as you turn to your right. Again, the spine is tall. Use the back hand to lift the spine tall and you breathe. And then come back to center. Straighten that right leg. Let the twist leave the body. Bring back the symmetry. And then hug the left knee closer to your chest. Plant the left foot outside to the right thigh. Take your left hand behind you. Press into the back hand and lift the spine tall. And then inhale, reach the right hand up. And then exhale, hug the knee as you turn to your left. And then slowly, slowly release back to center. Let the twist leave the body, bring back the symmetry. And then bring the soles of the feet together, knees a little wide apart. Take your feet a little closer or take it a little away from you depending upon the flexibility. And then take your both hands behind you and then lift the spine tall. Relax through the hip points, knees and ankles. Feel free to stay right there, or if you think flapping your thighs up and down can create some heat in your inner thighs, inner hips, inner groins, feel free to do that. And then slowly release. Now take the left heel a little closer to you and then lift that right baby up and rock it side to side. Rock a baby. I know some of you are laughing there. And then release. Now take the right heel a little closer. And then lift that left leg up and rock it side to side. As always, it's your baby, rock it your way. And then slowly release, release, release. Now grab a block and please lie all the way on your back. Take the block in between your thighs and then lie all the way on your back, setting up for a bridge pose. Now from there, take your hands over your head, push down into your feet, lift your hips up, bridge pose. Keep squeezing the block, feet down, back of the head down, lift your hips up. Catch yourself if you have stopped breathing, yogis. And then slow and steady, vertebrae by vertebrae, come all the way down to the mat. Pause, stay still. And then slowly release. Now take the block away. Hug the knees closer to your chest. Roll a little side to side, giving a nice therapeutic massage for your lower back. Now allow both knees to fall to the right, hands to a T. Gaze wherever your neck is comfortable, spinal twist. If it is bothering your lower back, grab a block and place it in between your thighs. And then back to center. Hug the knees closer to your chest one more time. And then take them to the right. Knees to the right. Gaze wherever it is comfortable. Again, using a block in between your thighs as needed. Then back to center. Moving into happy baby. Bringing your knees a little wider, feet up. Hands can stay on top of your inner thighs. Taking your knees wider, feet up. Inner thighs or inside of your shin or inside of your feet. Happy baby. Ananta Balasana. You can even sway a little side to side. As you all know, happy babies are never still. Soften your shoulders, neck. Allow the head to fall back. And then release, 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 release. Now, knees bent, feet on the earth. Take your feet mat width distance apart. Take your feet mat width distance apart and knock your knees in. Allow the knees to touch each other. Feet mat width distance apart. Place your hands wherever your shoulder and neck feels easy. Stay there for a few breaths. And then start to straighten your legs, moving into Shavasana. hands by your side, open up the legs, open up the arms. Take up the space you created with your practice. Rest to receive. Shavasana. If you have the time, I would recommend you to stay there in Shavasana for a few more breaths. But if you are ready to come out, bring some gentle movements. Bring back awareness back to your body. Then start to hug one knee at a time. And then roll over to your favorite side. Pause for a few moments. And then whenever you're ready, come into a seated position. Exactly how we started the class. Eyes may fall closed, placing your hands wherever your shoulder and neck feels easy. Check in with your body, check in with your breath. And notice if there is a space which has blossomed between you and whatever which is happening around you. Hands to a prayer, honoring that space.